Good morning, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests. First of all, I would like to thank the Associations of International Business and Professional Management for organizing this important conference and giving me the opportunity to speak to the audience. Tourism industry has long been a vital engine for economic growth and cultural exchange. However, as we face the unprecedented environment challenges, the time has come to reimagine how we approach this powerful industry. With that in mind, the focus of my presentations today is reimagining tourism, circular economy as the blueprints for sustainability. Together, we will explore how this approach can reshape the future of the tourism industry. First of all, let me give you the overview of the travel and tourism landscape. This data is provided by the World Travel and Tourism Council. As we can see from the statistic, in 2024, the travel and tourism industry is contributing significantly to the GDP with $11.1 trillion. It is not only contributing significantly to the economy, it is also providing 348 million jobs globally. So it is showing that the tourism industry is critical for the economic growth in the world. Hence, it is evident that the global tourism industry is a key driver of economic development and employment. It supports various sectors such as retail, food and beverage, lodging, and transportation. However, this industry is also a significant contributor to the carbon emissions, waste reductions, and pollutions. Based on the image, it is evident that the tourism industry did contribute to the water pollution. Single-use plastic is also polluting the sea. Transportation is polluting the air. And this pie chart shows us the carbon footprints of global tourism, with transport stand as the highest contributing factor, which leads to 49% of the carbon footprint. Based on all these environmental challenges that posed by the tourism industry, it is important to implement new business model. And with that, I'm introducing the principle of circular economy. Circular economy is an economic model that aims at eliminating waste and the continual use of resources, with the key principles of design out waste and pollution, keep products and material in use, and regenerates natural system. This image shows us that traditionally we do have linear economy, where we start by taking the resources and then we make the products, use it, and then we throw all the waste. But this is unsustainable. And with that, we have observed a lot of environmental issues occur in the world. And that's where it comes to the concept of recycling. And with the recycling economics prevalence in the world, which the industry will take the resources, make the products, use it, and some of the materials that can recycle and make the products again. And of course, a part of that, certain portion of it will be go to the waste. But again, this is also not sustainable enough. This is where the circular economic principle will take place. The idea is to take the resources, make the products, and then use it. And With that, it will proceed to reuse it, repair, recycle, return, and then goes to make again and use it. This is where we can help to reduce the waste. With the implementations of circular economy, it is expected to lead to sustainable tourism, which means the tourism that consider its current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts with the three key pillars: environmental stewardship, economic viability, and social responsibility. The integrations of circular economic is very important for the sustainable tourism. Circular economic principle can enhance it by reducing waste, improving resource efficiency, and create sustainable business model. There are some examples that we can use in the tourism industry, such as circular tourism initiative, eco-friendly resorts, waste to resource innovations, and many more. Of course, with the embedding of these circular economies to the sustainable tourism, it helps to contribute to the sustainable development goals. For example, the implementations of water conservation system, renewable energies, waste management system, and many more. It contributes to these 6 SDGs. For example, we have SDG 8 that will be promoting the decent work and economic growth. This is supported by the first few slides where we see the economic importance of the tourism industry, the contributions of tourism industry in the global economy. Moving on, it is also contributing to SDG 12 in terms of responsible consumptions and productions, with all the new implementations of waste management, water conservation system, etc. Combating the climate change is also part of the circular economy principle, which will tackle the SDG 13 climate action. Not only that, with all the system in place, it is also looking at how to improve or achieve SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, as well as SDG 15, life on land. The implementation of circular economy is actually a collaboration among different parties that may involve communities, governments, non-government associations, right? So this is also a partnership for the goals, which aims to achieve SDG 17. So with all these introductions as also the expected relationship, I actually conducted semi-structured interview with a few hotels. I interviewed the environmental managers in the hotel, and I observed the hotels in Malaysia actually practicing some implementations. For example, the hotels introduced comprehensive waste management system, such as on-site composting, recycling, and upcycling of materials. Upcycling means that they are using some used glass bottle to make it as the decorative items and put in their hotels. They also use zero waste kitchens, trying to minimize the food waste. Not only that, that integrates energy efficient systems, water saving technologies. And interestingly, they're also having a circular supply chain management where they will source the food and other supplies from local farmers and producers. Apart from that, they also establish center to educate guests and the local community. With all these new implementations, I also asked them what are the benefits that they observe or they obtain through the new implementations. And they helped me to divide it into three categories, looking into environmental, economic, and social perspective. Environmentally, the implementations of circular economies actually help to conserve the natural resources and also, of course, to reduce their waste. For example, by having the zero waste kitchen, help them to reduce the food waste. Economically speaking, with all these new implementations of circular economies or green practices, they're actually able to build brand differentiations. That is how they can differentiate themselves from the others competitors and make themselves green hotels as the brand image. Not only that, with all the implementations of water conservations, waste managements, actually helps them to save operational costs. And while they are having the center to educate the local communities or the guests, they are creating a new revenue streams by providing workshops or trainings to the community. From the social perspective, whatever that they did is actually engaging the communities and empower them, especially when we are looking at the supply chain. They are getting the supplies from the local farmers and the communities. That is how they engage the people and also empower the community. And lastly, with the new implementations of the green practices, or even with the center established to provide the workshop, it is actually a way to improve their guest experience. However, they do share some of the challenges and barriers in implementations of all these circular economic practices or green practices. First is operational challenges. With all the new implementations of water conservations, renewable energies, it is actually quite complex, especially at the start where they have to revamp it and have to change on their process. And they may also face some limitation on their resources, especially on financial wise. Apart from that, because of the new system, they will need to do a lot of maintenance and monitoring. Secondly, there is communication gaps. Internally, they face some internal communication issues where they have to share the importance to the employees and also encourage their employees to take part and participate in all these green initiatives. Externally, they also face some communication issue with the guests where they have to convey the message and to show the significance of employing all these economic or green practices in the hotels. Three is regulatory and policy constraint where they need to comply with the local regulations. So sometimes the local regulations may not be very supportive. So that is where they face some challenges. And they are also facing lacking of incentive because with all the new implementation, especially in terms of employing the renewable energy, solar panel, all this incurs huge costs. But then, due to lacking of incentives, sometimes they feel a bit challenging to initiate the new initiative. Lastly is the stakeholder resistance. They do face some resistance on the investor or the owners because as we know, investor normally they will look at the financial return and all the sustainable practices are aiming for the long-term sustainability and long-term financial benefit. So the investor may not see the immediate return with all these new implementations, so that they will be quite resist to the change. Suppliers, they also face a bit resist to the change because with the new implementations, they may have to comply with the suppliers code of conduct to ensure everything will be very eco-friendly and sustainable. Employee, as mentioned earlier, they are quite resistant to the change, especially if they perceive that the new initiative will be adding to their workload, to their existing responsibility. And lastly is the guest expectation, where the guest may be perceived negatively with all these green practices. For example, to reduce the single-use plastic, they may perceive that the hotel is not providing the convenience that they're supposed to enjoy, right? So these are some of the major challenges that the hotel's managers share with me. But of course, um, with the benefits that have been shared by them, it is still quite evident that the implementation of circular economy is very important to the tourism industry. And this principle will contribute to the tourism resilience. And we can foresee that the growth of eco-tourism and there is an increasing demand for the sustainable travel. So with that, I would like to end with a quote. Embrace a circular economy in tourism, reduce waste, reuse resources, and build a sustainable future. And lastly, I would like to thank and acknowledge to Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia because this research is actually funded by this grant scheme. Thank you.